guess my question is, do you think it's too late for me?
What?
I mean, am I just doomed to be the person that I am? The person in that book? It's not too late for me, is it? It's not too late. Diane, I need you to tell me that it's not too late.
Oh, Jack,
I need you to tell me that I'm a good person. I know that I can be selfish and narcissistic and self-destructive, but underneath all that, deep down, I'm a good person, and I need you to tell me that I'm good.
Sup, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Would You Like to Continue? It's your host, Brandon Mercado, and we have a special guest today. So please help me salute a good friend of mine that can be found in the arts and crafts aisle by the music and media section, Elmer Diaz, also known as Mr. Glue.
I like that. That was a good intro.
Thank you. It took me a minute to process through that. So how you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Scale from 1 to 10. How you feeling?
We'll say an 8.
Okay, that's a good number. That's a good number. Same, I would agree. 8 or 9 for me.
It's my favorite number.
It's a good number. All right, man. So let's just jump right into this. So my first very intellectual and complex question is, would you call yourself a rapper?
Hashtag, but I'm not a rapper. No, yeah, I would. I put words together that rhyme sometimes.
Is it weird that you call yourself a rapper?
It is, because I'm not a typical, I don't know.
You're good. All right, my next question for you, bro, is what got you into rapping?
What got me into rapping? So my, actually rapping?
What was before actual rapping?
Listening to it, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Or, stealing people's lines. I used to be a big biter. That's how everyone starts out.
Oh, man, I haven't heard that word in ages.
No, but I started rapping maybe 9 or 10 or something like that, because a friend of mine had started rapping, and he was he had a whole basement set up and everything. He's a few years older than me. I was over his house. There's a friend from church, Pennsylvania, where I grew up, and he gave me a CD that had one beat on it, and then because I liked the violin on the beat, and I went home and I did the corniest little thing, and I recorded it on my dad's flip phone using my TV, also my dad's
Big
TV.
brain, bro. Sound engineer stuff right there.
And then I sent it to my friend, and then he's like, "Yo, it's kind of corny, but you have a flow." So then he's like, "You should actually try this," and from there I did. And then I didn't really go into taking it serious, posting videos and all that kind of stuff, until the 8th grade.
Okay. So with that being said, does inspiration for music come to you, or do you look for it?
I think it's a bit of both. Sometimes, it's all dependent. I could be watching something, maybe a metaphor or something like that, to use in a rap, or listening to something and you're like, "Oh, I like this line, but this is how I would try to do that line." So little stuff like that. Or when you're just in a mood to express a certain feeling, I'll start looking for music with that kind of feeling in mind. Or sometimes I just find it and it puts me in that feeling. So it could be either or.
Okay. When you first started, was it more that you sought it out, or was it more that it came to you when you started in 8th grade?
I probably more sought it out. Just because, me rapping in 8th grade is completely different to me rapping now. Back then it was I'm going to remix songs that I like, and I'm going to try and be in contests on the internet. So you would have to be in a certain mindset for that.
Nice. That's cool. I like getting a little bit of insight on your journey of rapping and music. So, have you ever ventured off into unorthodox contexts to inspire your music? Have you ever ventured off into unorthodox contexts to inspire your music?
Define unorthodox context.
I got you. So unorthodox content, what I'm referring to is what someone, I guess, wouldn't typically see you to go towards for the craft that you're working on. So, for example, when I work on my graphic novel, I'll look to film. They're both storytelling, but they're different mediums. So for you as a rapper, people may think, okay, you go to other songs or other music for inspiration. but you may say something like, actually, I just Google ASMR for random crap, and some of that stuff inspires me, you know what I'm saying? Just stuff that seems kind of left field or not as obvious of a route to pull from inspiration or ideas from.
I think, yeah, definitely. I have at some points. It's not like a go-to thing.
Okay.
Because I don't really know how my process begins.
It just
kind of happens.
Okay.
But I have definitely using shows or, YouTube videos and stuff like that spark an interest.
Dope. You kind of answered my next question was, how do you explain your writing process? But you said for yours it's pretty organic, right? It just happens.
Yeah, it's not. I don't think too hard about it. Like, I don't have a ritual. I know I've watched documentaries on rappers that, like, they have a whole thing that they do before or even during, and I'm just like, I could be laying in bed and I think of a line, or I start searching for beats, and then it just happens.
Gotcha. Have you ever been discouraged when trying to write music, or how have you ever navigated through that? How have you navigated through the discouragement?
100%. 100%.
Okay.
Just because sometimes I'm like, rap is stupid. Like, it'll be a moment where, like, okay, this is hurting my brain. Or you just can't. Once you hit, like, I guess the writer's block moment, at least for me, in a song, I'm just kind of like, okay, I need to put it down and then get back. Look at it in a couple of days or something like that. But yeah, no, I mean, it's never like I want to quit doing it because it's just something fun I do. But it can be like, all right, this is getting stupid. I'm going to play Call of Duty instead or something.
I get you. That's legit. Like you were expressing how it comes natural. You just don't really have a specific process. I feel like people, when they're tackling any talent or hobby, skill, they go ahead and they try to figure out a process. They try to find a 5-step, 7-step, whatever step guide to help set them up for victory. But I think the thing is that it really just pertains to you as a person, right? It's just find what fits for you, what works for you. And that's why it's important to venture off and look at various videos. Like you say, you don't watch one documentary, and I don't believe you listen to one rapper to get inspiration. You let it come from all directions, and you keep an open mind. So it's kind of like you're always ready to be inspired.
Yeah, exactly. Very play it by ear, like just feeling it out.
So, all right, what artist would you recommend to those listening, and why?
Oh, man. It really depends. Let me go through my recents.
Go ahead, take your time.
Oh, you know what? Listen. This might be a little wild. All right, he's a rapper. Let me set him up real quick. He's a rapper. That does like comedic rap, but not like The Lonely Island, not like, like YouTube rappers. It's very, I don't know, comedic in a sense of like, it's just bizarre and absurd. But he also like is very rap. Like if you like rap and you like to laugh, like this is the dude for you. His name is Lil Dicky. And it's like, even the name is just, his whole persona in rap is like it's almost satire. But he got bars. And he has a TV show out right now called Dave. It's about him. Like at the cusp of his becoming viral. Like that's when it starts. To basically now. The finale episode just came out this past week. I don't know. He like, the reason I'd say him is just the creativity behind him as a whole, rather than just, you said artist, but like he writes the show. He, makes the raps. He comes up with the ideas. Like he is the creative force. So he's like not just an artist in music, but in television now, and who knows what else. But it can be vulgar. I'm just letting people know now. It's not for the faint of heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. That's cool. I like it. It's a very I'm glad I didn't give like the obvious ones. You know what I'm saying? You gave something that was
Eminem.
yeah, right. Oh, that's easy. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's cool. And I know those listening would appreciate it. But again, fair warning, it is vulgar. But I mean, like,
The show is a work of genius.
if you live in a box, and I understand if you have kids because you're trying to protect their holy ears, right? But they're gonna be exposed to some of these things anyway. I remember when there was moments where I was just hanging out at the church all the time that when I would hear someone curse, it like caught me off guard so bad because I was so like in a non-cursing environment. But it's sheltered, and sheltered can be very dangerous, you know. And even when it comes to what you listen to, yes, be careful what you listen to because it will influence you. You can't create outside of yourself, and you know you're pouring stuff in. But you also understand Jesus hanged out with the sinner, you know, and so he made sure he was filled up with Christ, so that his overflow of Christ would pour into others, versus them influencing him for the worse.
Facts.
All right, so really big question. I was rewatching some of your videos, some of your vlogs, listening to some of your stuff again, and so good. I'm not just saying it because I'm your friend, but I was like, this is so good. It's just clever. I really find your syntax and diction to be very clever, and I have a big one, and I feel like many of us who know you are wondering, will My Check Mondays come back?
Oh man. Put me on blast here. Yeah, they will. They're just gonna come. It's all being planned out. There'll be more purpose behind it, if that makes sense.
Okay. Due to Corona, we are actually postponing like Check
Yo,
Monday.
to be honest, because living with 4 other people or 3 other people, and then trying to record, like even this was being an issue.
Yeah, it was a mission. You were in your car trying to get it.
So it's all about it's that, and all about like I'm working on something bigger, like a project. So when I start rolling that out, you got to build momentum around it.
I get you. All right, cool. Yeah, man, I was loving it, especially with the suit and tie.
Oh yeah,
Oh man, and the edits.
it's crazy. That was a whole year ago.
That's wild to think. That's so insane.
The first Mic Check Monday, I had an interview that day, and I hit a year with them like a week ago.
That's wild.
Yeah. And then the second one, I'm like, I got the job, by the way.
You should do the third one. I'm still in the job, by the way.
Yeah, right? I do it at my job. That's a concept. I'm going to write that down.
Okay. All right. So before I switch over to talking about your vlog stuff, I'm going to put you on blast yet again. Can you freestyle for us, and I'll cash app you $5?
Freestyle? Oh, man.
Yeah, and it won't be for free. So paid
Okay.
style.
Oh, that's a good segment.
I got you. I got you.
Jeez, you really doing this thing.
I can't give people the boring content. We gotta get the real authentic Elmer. I listened to some of your freestyles. You did really good, and I had to reread the title, the fact that it was a freestyle.
Okay, so here's the thing. Sometimes with freestyles
Aren't free.
that aren't free, sometimes, that's my like 15th take, and I'm taking the best lines out of the 14 before it. You know what I mean? That's why it gets to a decent point, and then towards the last like 15, 25 seconds of it, it's like, okay, this is clearly off the top now. You know what I mean?
No, I get you.
Okay, like how many lines you want?
I don't know. Just whatever you feel most comfortable with.
All right, give me a starting point.
This right here, right now.
All right, what was this called? To be continued?
Would you like to
Will you-
continue?
Wow, I'm a fake fan. You're gonna edit that out, right? You're really doing this to me. What rhymes with podcast? I have to think. Hold on.
I don't know, bro. Use like rhymes or something.
Oh yeah, that's all I'm about. Like rhymes. I can't do perfect rhymes. You think something rhymes with orange? Not really.
Door hinge.
Door hinge.
Yeah.
All about the enunciations.
Yeah.
Ooh. Can I give you a preview of something?
Fine.
And then you don't have to...
But you're not gonna get $3. You're gonna get less.
Okay. I have 2 lines, that I've liked for so long. I just haven't used them yet.
All right, lay it on us.
The song would be called The Hunt, but it's just everything after these two lines I have no idea yet. It's I'm on the hunt. It's rapper and it's duck season. My name is Elmer, and it's I don't give a fud season.
Okay, I see what you did there.
That's it. That's the 2 lines. I was gonna do some quarantine stuff, but never mind.
Yeah, don't do that.
Too real.
Yeah. All right. I mean, I liked it, but I'd rather have heard it like in a full-blown rap, and that technically wasn't a freestyle. Okay, so
That was a failed freestyle.
yeah, a failed freestyle, but it's all right. So, what got you into vlogging?
So I had bought a camera, and at around the same time I found Casey Neistat and David Dobrik's vlogs, and I watched a bunch of them. I initially got the camera just to take pictures of stuff, but then I saw that and I was like, oh, this is something I could have fun with this, see what it's about, be creative like that. And then I started filming a lot and then started editing. I don't really know. It's not like a fixed moment in time, like I didn't have like, oh, this is what I need to do. It just became something that was like interesting. And then I found out like, oh, I'm kind of good at this. Or at least I think. You have to think that.
All right. Have you ever thought about recording a video or a message for your future self? Have you ever thought about recording a video or a message for your future self?
I've actually done that.
Aha. Talk.
So I did it before I deployed. And then I was like, I don't know, I made a bunch of videos before I deployed, and then I like scheduled them all for whatever reason. And then that was just one where I was like, I'm not gonna, that one's for me. Maybe eventually. Because it's still technically on my YouTube, like on private. But yeah, I wish I did that, like, I wish I was into filming stuff when I was like 10. And I really had like memories to look back on like that. Because I would have done that same thing. Like, all right, when you graduate high school, read or watch this. Like those kind of videos.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be sick. But yeah, it was basically describing the moment I was in. Like summing up everything and saying this is what I want you to be like in this time frame, like when you get back or 5 years from now. That was basically the point of that.
That's really cool, to be honest. That's pretty neat. That's what I was wondering. I did that for, like, I'm trying to record random clips. I'm not doing successful at it, to be honest. I really have. There's like big jumps. But I do want to do like a lot of home video stuff because I just want to see my kids in the future growing up and stuff. I don't have kids, not having them soon, but like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. Just kind of like that home video. So not really like a vlog, but legit. Like, I want to make it like a show. Like, there's an episode for each one.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, so I did one right before I got married on my wedding day, me just talking to the camera for a little bit to my future kids. Because I have like these 2 journals that I write to my kids too. That aren't in this world yet, and if I have more than 2 kids, then we'll work it out, But yeah.
And do you in the journals? Is there like a name for the kids?
Yeah, we already have their names and everything.
Okay,
and I also give them other titles. So like for the son, I'll say his name, but I'll also put like a brave warrior in like one journal entry, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. So like, do you? And that you're like 100. Like, what if that changes?
If I don't have a son, then I mean, like, I guess it's just something just to keep. But yeah, I have it for one for a boy and one for a girl.
Interesting.
I mean, I'm praying hard, bro, for 1 boy, 1 girl. So I mean,
yeah, that's the ideal, right? I feel you.
Yeah. So I believe in prayer. So we'll see what happens. See if God has other plans. If God had other plans, I wish He didn't make me look like an idiot, right? for writing for all these, for years, literally for years, bro. So we'll see. All right. Interview flip. What do you like filming the most?
Yeah, that's so interesting.
Say, got you, bro. I ain't gonna give you no boring questions.
You right. Because, like, obviously I like hanging out with friends and it being that whole thing. But, I don't know, it's just different vibes. Like, the whole Iceland stuff that I'm putting out now. They're more, I don't know, I'm headed towards the more, like, home video kind of videos as things to look back on. Like, obviously I'm not posting with the intent of like, this is what I want to do with my life, vlog forever. Like for YouTube, I just do it because I like to do it and I need somewhere to put it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that I can look back at it. Because, like, the videos I'm putting now, that was from over a year ago. And it's a lot of things that I did not remember happening. So it's really cool. Like, there's a lot of... It's making me, like, not take it for granted now. Which is why, like, I have a few DVDs of when I was younger from, like, that were reconverted from VHS to DVD. And I just wish there was more. You know what I mean? Because it's just not enough of when I was younger. They're, like, specific trips. But it's still cool to look back on. And one day, I plan on using those for videos. I just haven't yet. But I have them literally right here in the store.
Yeah, my family took a lot of photos. So for me, it's those photos that I have, but I wish I had it in video format. You gave me an idea. I can imagine like a self-documentary. Like you just interview your parents. How was I at this age? And you just show photos correlating to those.
Yeah, exactly. You're kind of we're on the same wavelength. There we are.
There you go.
But yeah, that was exactly almost to a T of what I was going to try to do.
Dude, that's dope. I'll probably do that too. That'd be really cool. All right, cool, man. And you mentioned earlier about you got the camera initially for photography, and you have a Instagram called Shots by Glue, correct?
Yes.
And so there you got some pretty cool variety of photos from Iceland to your personal life, just random stuff. And so my question is, are you into photography as much as you are into vlogging?
I'm going to backtrack to when I got the camera.
Okay.
I had bought the camera. It was supposed to be like Black Friday weekend, and it came to me early. And that same weekend, I had my friend was having a vow renewal. So I brought the camera. I was like, oh, I'll take pictures. And then I started recording. And then that night I edited the whole thing. And that's when I was like, oh man, I like editing. Right. But I think like a week or two later, I went to visit my dad in Pennsylvania. And when he saw the camera, he was like, man, when you were like in middle school, you always wanted to do photography. Like I remember showing him like, hey, they have these classes. I want to take these. But, you know, back then getting a camera or even the classes, like it was expensive stuff. But he was like, if I had known you still was like wanting to do that kind of stuff, I would have eventually. I was like, yeah, I finally did it myself. Yeah, so like to answer your question, on the inside, yes. But from like what you can
tell, like productive.
Yeah, from like the actions of it, it would seem vlogging I'm way more into. But I think it goes hand in hand because like recording stuff, at least I try to get like those B-roll moments, and those B-roll moments are like basically pictures.
Yeah.
Like I saw this, I was like, I would take a picture of this, so I'm going to record it too.
Oh, that's cool. I get you.
So like I have a bunch of pictures of 5-second clips that are recorded of like scenery shots or, you know, just moments happening. That's what I always do. Whenever someone like, I don't like posing. That's my thing. I like candid, like just random moments.
No, I get you. Yeah, raw and authentic. Just
yeah. Like I don't like editing the pictures either. Like I don't care about the light or the contrast and all that. Just what the camera got is what I want to show. Unless it's black and white.
I feel like as you just said that, what came to mind was I feel like when you do the photo edits, it's like if you're putting makeup on reality. And I feel like makeup enhances reality, right? Just like a film enhances reality, or just it shows you some fantasy and what's in someone's head.
Editing pictures. The thing is, some argue that like the edit is the last 40% of a portrait, where you're trying to make things pop in a certain way, or there's only so much a camera can do compared to the human eye and how you want it to look.
Yeah, that's true.
But like nowadays cameras are almost as good. Like
yeah, with all these lenses and all these different things, now we have a better idea of visuals and, you know, like the language of seeing.
Yeah. Like if you shoot manually, you're editing the frame by the exposure and the focal length and all that kind of stuff. Like that is in the moment editing, kind of, to get the picture how you want it to come out, how it best looks to you.
Yeah.
So I get the aftermath of like wanting to go in whatever photo room or whatever it's called. I just don't have the patience to.
Yeah.
I don't want to learn more than I need to. I like the natural.
I get you. All right. So how do you develop your craft? How you develop your craft of? We talked about three things. We talked about your rapping, your music, right? We talked about the photography. We talked about the vlogging and the video, and you've expressed the realms of photography and videography and how they overlap each other, right? And I guess this is a pretty jam-packed question of does your rap bleed into it? Like I was watching one of your videos and it was about you and your girl and there was just music really over it with some authentic ambient sound from your experience at the carnival and I was like, yo, this boy can do a rap over that and then like make like a music video off of that. And so I guess how do you develop your craft? How do your crafts speak to each other? Does your photography, video, rap, do they all talk? Do some talk more, etc.?
Yes.
You heard it here, folks.
Yeah, they for sure, because in editing like a video, I use music as sometimes I will edit a whole video with no music behind it and then find music. I've done that recently, but I normally never do. I always find music beforehand based on the mood I'm in when editing of like what I want to portray from what I'm seeing when I go through the footage, and then edit around the music. So naturally, music can tell a story by the progression of the music. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you use more than, in terms of editing a video, if you use more than one piece of music, so you use the music in the moments to build the story. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you did that in your Iceland vlog a lot, where different pockets had a different type of song.
Yeah.
To amplify the moment.
Exactly. And so just the music, like with no lyrics, they can have that progression and tell that story. It's composing, right? In movies, TV, they do it all the time. Radio shows, whatever. So, like, I want to do things that are like that, where I have a rap and I'm editing a vlog or what'll ultimately become like the music video for the song. I did that for BoJack Horseman. Like, that's how that whole thing came about. That same way of like using the visual from the show as well as the audio, and then using my raps to tell that story. But this goes back to the artist question earlier. Little Dicky, let me real quick just get back on it.
Go ahead.
His show, right, is about him as a rapper, right? And it's kind of fabricated in a sense of like a television arc. It's not a documentary. It's acted out like any other show. But he doesn't rap a lot in the show. And like when he does, it's for the story. Like it only enhances it. The final episode, I won't say what it's about, but the first 8 minutes is him rapping and showing the visual of what's happening as if it was a music video. So it's the show happening, but he's rapping these events. And it's 8 minutes, like nonstop, from the moment the show starts up until like almost 9 minutes into the episode. Then the intro happens. It's like, what? What? So that's a level of creativity that like I would strive to do in a smaller sense with the videos I do on YouTube. Like obviously that's all well produced and blah blah blah. You have whoever behind you to help creatively, but that's still all from him.
Yeah, which is so dope. No, I totally agree with you because even with me with the podcast, you know, I'm trying to make it me in the way I edit and in the way of presentation, right, raw and authentic, but also just I love my past, like being a kid. Like, you know, you talked about like we wish we had those videos. So putting those excerpts, those little clips in the beginning of each podcast, right, it brings it back. And the cassette tape is nostalgia, is like old school. My dad had a whole bunch of cassette tapes, and so it brings us back, and it really just helps that presentation. And yeah, I feel like creativity means there's always an answer. Flexibility means there's more than one. And if you're a creative person, you're a problem solver. And when you don't have much, you got to do a lot of problem solving, right? We were problem solving to get this thing right. I'm in a closet right now with blankets that have freaking Paris and poodles on it, and and freaking pillows and a strike pad from martial arts, and I'm sitting on a dang pillow, you know. And so it's just you know, you got to problem solve. You you use what you have and you have what you need.
Mm.
And I feel like when you have to work in a confined space, in a confined box, metaphorically speaking, it actually encourages more creativity. Yeah, so that leads into my next question for you, which is, how has your faith influenced your craft? Right? How has faith influenced your craft?
So to like quote John Mulaney, who's a comedian, not to flip the question to you, but I feel like to answer this question, right, it'd be better if you, like, what do you see in what I put out? Like, is that something you see?
Like proof in the pudding, right? Like the whole know someone by their fruits.
Yeah. Like, I could say what I think, but, like, is it actually something that's happening when I'm doing it?
So I would say that, all right, and you guys can fact check this. Like, go ahead and look at Mr. Glue's his stuff. If he was trash, I wouldn't have him on here.
That's a smart way to plug me.
So with that being said, like, I mean, what I noticed in your piece, it's not edgy, bro. It's like you're not. I feel like when you have Christ in your
That means
heart
a
and
lot.
you really walk that journey with Him, He starts healing you from a lot of stuff, and He starts delivering you. So your stuff is authentic and raw, but yet your stuff isn't like a pity party, a grudge match filled with hate. That's not your content that you release. And so if you're being authentic and you are still holding on to some deep grudges, right? Because remember, rap and vlogging and photography is a great way for you to express yourself, right? I think you express yourself the best in those moments, in those mediums. And therefore, if you express yourself the best in those mediums, and those mediums are not coming off edgy, and some of them you talk about real stuff, but that's like anybody. But not every single vlog or every single track that you release is about dark hate, hate, hate. You know what I'm saying? Have you ever known those like Christian rock bands, and then they somehow become Satanists because they get butthurt about God?
Yeah.
And then they start posting like all this stuff about how God sucks, there's no God, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it's just like, okay. Like,
Like,
and
chill.
yeah, exactly. And so, I feel like that's like a big way we can see your faith has influenced your stuff. And you mentioned God. You'll drop God's name, you'll say Christ, you'll say Jesus, you'll make Christian references. When people have interviewed you, you even your vlogs are in church, you're not afraid to do it in church. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shows how your faith has influenced you. It's not something that you're hiding. Again, it fits your personality of being a raw and authentic person. So, how do you think how to do?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're obviously one of the... If I want anyone to describe me, I want you to do it. Because you break it down from every level.
Well, we got to go deeper in a bit, but I got one more question for the audience. Actually, I'll just go straight into it. So, I actually wanted to conclude these interviews, and you didn't know about this, with an word of encouragement for you. So I'm going to do this word of encouragement, and then I got a final question for everyone, or a couple, I guess, right? I researched what your name meant, okay? And I believe in the power of names. And so Elmer means noble or renowned. I don't know what that is because I suck at English. So that's higher class. I'm joking. I know what it is. But higher class, higher sense of morality, known or talked about, famous. And I feel, dude, when you went to SEU, FTL, people just always wanted to be around you, right? People just felt attracted to you. People felt drawn to you. But you were just being you. You were just chill. But there was something about you that was famous, quote unquote, right? Air quotes. And so, again, it's part of your being that people are going to be drawn to who you are as a person, right? God has said, you are noble, my child. You're renowned, and you're a child of God. And being a child of God makes you a prince, right? So you are of higher class. Your dad's a king,
Yeah.
right? The king of the universe. So that's some next level stuff right there. And then I even got your middle name, right? It's Alexander, correct? And so it's defender of people. And so you, like you said, you like being around people. And I've seen in small spurts, because I haven't really seen people come for other people around you for you to stand up. But in small body language that you've shown and little snippets, you show a care for people. You don't care about people and what they think about you. What you do care about is how people treat and, like, I guess, respond to others. Right? And so you're definitely there for your mom, bro. You're like a number one like supporter for her, and I can just see it again, reading the room, body language, the way you interact, and all that with her. And so you are a defender of man, and the enemy will love to try to make that the opposite. And with the grudges and hurt and the betrayal that you've experienced, right? Or you feel like you're too dangerous to be around certain people, pre-Christ. The enemy wants to get that, like, make you the enemy of man. And that's what he does. He gets our names and he flips the script, right? He manipulates truth. And so even being noble and renowned, he wants you to feel like trash and dirt, the opposite of higher class of being noble. And not to be a prideful sense, but you know what I mean? But like, he wants to bring you down. And so, man, I just want to encourage you, man. You're one of my best friends. I really appreciate you. Appreciate your work, your creativity, your content. I love that we can just have conversations just about anything, enlightening conversations too. And so, yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's so funny because, yeah, I've always known those definitions. I don't know how long I've always known it, but like I've known that those were the meanings behind the names. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like wherever it came from, Greek or Latin or whatever. But yeah, so like the fact that you went out of your way and did that, and then the whole encouragement, thanks. That's awesome.
Yeah, man, of course.
Confirmation.
Yeah. I want to bring things full circle. And we played a clip from your BoJack Horseman video. And it's titled, Is It Too Late? So I'm going to ask you this final question. Do you believe that it's ever too late for someone?
That's layered. You got another 20 minutes?
That is layered. Give me like a short response.
A simple yes or no. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, simple yes or no, and then we'll do a future episode titled "Is It Too Late?" and then we'll just unpack that.
It can be.
And
that's the answer I'll leave.
That's good. It can be. So the question that people need to ask themselves, is it too late, right?
Yeah. I think that's when you know that it isn't. When you can still have that moment to ask.
Bet.
But we could go deeper in that another time.
I know. And we'll do it for a future episode, so stay tuned for that. Elmer, I just want to thank you so much for being on. Thank you so much for providing your time and opportunity. It's an honor and privilege to be able to interview you, bro. It means a lot, and I'm really excited for this episode to go out and for people to hear it.
Same. Dude, thanks for having me. I'm very into all that you do creatively, so for you to have me on in one of your ventures, A1. I'm so down. I'm excited for you in this, and, praying nothing for the best for this and, your life and all the other aspects. I'm just going to start whispering at the end here so that...
I got you. Thanks. Igual. I felt that. Yeah, so that final question for everybody listening is, would you like to continue? Elmer, thank you, and God bless everybody.
I like chocolate.